A journey into Europe's most haunted castles. Welcome to Whispers from the Vale, your go-to channel for spine-tingling tales and chilling encounters that blur the line between the living and the dead. If you've ever felt a shiver run down your spine at the thought of ancient stone walls whispering secrets from centuries past, then you're in for a treat. Today, we embark on an unforgettable journey through Europe's most haunted castles, fortresses steeped in history, mystery, and the eerie remnants of lives long extinguished. These are not just relics of medieval grandeur, they are places where the veil between worlds grows thin, where whispers of the past echo in the shadows, and where the supernatural lingers like an uninvited guest. Europe's castles have long captured the imagination with their towering spires, labyrinthine corridors, and tales of valor and betrayal. But beyond their storied halls and majestic facades lies a darker legacy, a collection of ghostly apparitions, inexplicable phenomena, and haunting legends that refuse to fade with time. From the blood-soaked ramparts of Scotland's Edinburgh Castle to the cursed chambers of Romania's Bran Castle, each fortress holds its own macabre secrets, waiting to be uncovered by those brave enough to listen. This video isn't just another retelling of spooky stories, it's an invitation to step into the shoes of those who dared to explore these haunted bastions of history. Together, we'll peel back the layers of time, exploring the chilling accounts of paranormal activity that have left even the most skeptical visitors questioning reality. Whether it's the phantom footsteps echoing through empty halls or the spectral figures seen wandering moonlit courtyards, every castle has its own unique brand of terror. So grab your favorite blanket, dim the lights, and prepare to delve into the shadowy world of Europe's most haunted castles. By the end of this journey, you might just find yourself glancing over your shoulder, wondering if the spirits of the past are closer than you think. Let the haunting begin. The eerie echoes of Edinburgh Castle. Perched atop Castle Rock in the heart of Scotland's capital, Edinburgh Castle is not only a symbol of Scottish resilience but also one of the most haunted locations in Europe. Its imposing silhouette dominates the city skyline, yet beneath its majestic facade lies a tapestry of dark history and chilling tales. Built in the 12th century, the castle has witnessed centuries of conflict, imprisonment, and tragedy, making it a magnet for paranormal activity. Visitors and staff alike report an unsettling atmosphere that seems to permeate every stone and corridor, as though the spirits of those who suffered within its walls refuse to find peace. One of the most frequently reported phenomena at Edinburgh Castle is the sound of disembodied footsteps echoing through its empty halls. Tour guides recount how groups of visitors have heard the distinct clatter of boots marching across cobblestones, only to find no one in sight when they investigate. These phantom footsteps are often attributed to soldiers from battles long past, particularly those who fought during the Jacobite uprisings or the Wars of Scottish independence. Some claim to have seen spectral figures clad in military attire, their ghostly forms fading into the mist as quickly as they appear. The castle's dungeons, notorious for their grim history as holding cells for prisoners of war, are said to be among its most haunted areas. Those who dare to venture into these shadowy depths often describe feelings of overwhelming despair and a suffocating sense of dread. Reports of ghostly hands brushing against visitors' shoulders or icy breaths on the back of their necks are common. One particularly harrowing account involves a woman who claimed to have been pushed violently against a wall by an unseen force while exploring the dungeon alone. Moments later, she heard faint sobbing, as though the anguished cries of long-forgotten captives were reaching out from beyond the grave. Perhaps the most famous ghost said to haunt Edinburgh Castle is the Laird's Lady, believed to be the spirit of a noblewoman who met a tragic end within its walls. Legend has it that she fell victim to a jealous lover who locked her away in a tower, where she eventually starved to death. Witnesses described seeing a translucent figure dressed in flowing robes drifting through the castle's upper chambers, her mournful gaze fixed on some distant point. Others have reported hearing her soft, melodic singing, a haunting melody that seems to emanate from nowhere and everywhere all at once. The castle's battlements, which offer breathtaking views of the city below, are also home to inexplicable occurrences. Guards stationed there have spoken of witnessing shadowy figures standing near the edge, gazing out over the horizon before vanishing without a trace. In one instance, a security officer reported seeing a soldier in full regalia standing watch at his post, only to realize moments later that no one was actually there. Such sightings are often accompanied by a sudden drop in temperature, leaving those who witness them with goosebumps and a lingering sense of unease. Edinburgh Castle's reputation as a hotspot for paranormal activity has drawn the attention of numerous investigators over the years. Teams armed with electromagnetic field detectors and thermal imaging cameras have documented strange energy spikes and unexplained cold spots throughout the fortress. One team even captured audio recordings of what sounded like whispered conversations in languages unfamiliar to anyone present. Skeptics may dismiss such findings as mere anomalies, but for those who have experienced the castle's eerie ambience firsthand, there is little doubt that something otherworldly resides within its ancient stone walls. As you walk through Edinburgh Castle today, you can almost feel the weight of its history pressing down upon you. It is a place where the past and present intertwine, where the echoes of war and suffering linger in the air like a perpetual fog. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, it's impossible to deny the palpable sense of foreboding that permeates this iconic landmark. For those brave enough to explore its haunted halls, the castle offers a glimpse into a world beyond our own, a world where the dead refuse to be forgotten. The phantom halls of Château de Brissac. Deep in the verdant Loire Valley of France stands the majestic Château de Brissac, a towering Renaissance masterpiece that hides a sinister past behind its elegant facade. Known as the Giant of the Loire, due to its impressive height, this sprawling estate boasts 7 stories and over 200 rooms. Yet beneath its opulent decor and regal charm lies a tale of betrayal, murder, and restless spirits that has earned it a reputation as one of Europe's most haunted castles. Visitors to the chateau often speak of an oppressive atmosphere that seems to hang heavy in the air, as though the very walls themselves are burdened by the weight of centuries-old tragedies. The most infamous ghost said to haunt Château de Brissac is that of the Green Lady, a spectral figure whose legend has become synonymous with the castle's eerie reputation. According to local lore, the Green Lady is the spirit of a woman betrayed by her husband, Château de Brissac, a nobleman of the 15th century. She was allegedly caught in an affair with a courtier, and in a fit of rage, de Brissac murdered both her and her lover. Her body was reportedly buried in secret within the castle's grounds, ensuring her eternal unrest. Ever since, her ghost has been seen wandering the chateau's corridors, her face pale and her eyes hollow, dressed in emerald green robes that give her an ethereal glow. Eyewitness accounts of the Green Lady are both vivid and chilling. Guests staying overnight in the castle have reported waking in the dead of night to see her ghostly figure standing at the foot of their beds, staring silently before vanishing into thin air. Others describe hearing faint sobs echoing through the halls, as though the sorrow of her untimely demise continues to reverberate through time. One particularly unsettling encounter occurred when a group of tourists claimed to have seen her reflection in a mirror, only for her image to distort unnaturally and disappear entirely when they turned to look directly at her. Beyond the Green Lady's haunting presence, the castle is rife with other paranormal phenomena. Staff members have reported doors slamming shut on their own, furniture moving inexplicably, and disembodied voices whispering in empty rooms. The chateau's theater, once a venue for lavish performances, is said to host particularly intense activity. Performers and crew members have described seeing shadowy figures seated in the audience, or standing in the wings, watching silently before melting into the darkness. Some have even refused to return after experiencing what they describe as an overwhelming sense of being watched, as though invisible eyes were following their every move. The castle's underground passages, used historically to transport goods and people discreetly, are also rumored to be hotspots for supernatural encounters. Visitors exploring these dimly lit tunnels often report feeling an inexplicable chill, along with the sensation of being touched or brushed by unseen hands. In one chilling account, a tour guide leading a group through the catacombs suddenly froze mid-sentence, claiming to have seen the figure of a man in period clothing walking ahead of them. When the group rushed forward to investigate, the figure had vanished without a trace, leaving behind only the faint scent of damp earth and decay. Over the years, numerous paranormal investigators have visited Château de Brissac in an attempt to document its supernatural activity. Equipped with infrared cameras and audio recording devices, these teams have captured a variety of unexplained phenomena. One investigator claimed to have photographed an orb-like anomaly hovering near the staircase where the Green Lady is most frequently sighted. While skeptics argue that such evidence could be attributed to environmental factors or equipment malfunctions, the sheer volume of consistent reports makes it difficult to dismiss the possibility of something truly otherworldly at play. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, Château de Brissac remains a popular destination for tourists seeking a brush with the supernatural. Daytime visitors marvel at its architectural beauty and rich history, but those who dare to stay after dark are often left with memories they cannot easily explain. The castle's caretakers, descendants of the original de Brissac family, take pride in preserving both its physical structure and its mysterious legacy. They neither confirm nor deny the existence of ghosts, preferring instead to let visitors draw their own conclusions. For those who walk the hallowed halls of Château de Brissac, the boundary between past and present feels razor thin. It is a place where history and horror intertwine, where the echoes of love and betrayal still linger in the shadows. Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, it's hard to deny the spine-tingling allure of this haunted fortress, a place where the dead seem determined to make their presence known. The cursed chambers of Bran Castle nestled amidst the mist-shrouded peaks of Transylvania. Bran Castle looms like a sentinel of Gothic grandeur, its jagged towers piercing the sky and its shadow stretching across the surrounding forests. Often referred to as Dracula's castle, this fortress has become synonymous with vampire lore, thanks in large part to Bram Stoker's iconic novel. However, the true history of Bran Castle is far more complex, and far darker, than the fictional tales that have made it famous. Beneath its imposing facade lies a labyrinth of cursed chambers and hidden passageways, where the line between myth and reality blurs, and the supernatural seems to linger in every corner. While Bran Castle never served as the home of Vlad the Impaler, the historical figure who inspired Stoker's Dracula, it did play a pivotal role in the region's tumultuous history. Originally built in the 13th century as a defensive stronghold against invading forces, the castle became a strategic outpost for trade and military operations. Over the centuries, it changed hands multiple times, serving as a residence for Transylvanian royalty, a customs checkpoint, and even a hospital during World War I. Yet, despite its varied uses, the castle has always carried an aura of foreboding, as though its very stones absorbed the anxieties and fears of those who passed through its gates. One of the most enduring legends tied to Bran Castle revolves around Vlad III, also known as Vlad Tepes or Vlad the Impaler. Though he never resided within its walls, Vlad's brutal campaigns against Ottoman invaders earned him a reputation as a ruthless ruler whose methods instilled terror in friend and foe alike. Local folklore claims that Vlad sought refuge in the surrounding forests after one of his many skirmishes, using the castle's remote location as a hiding place. While historians debate the veracity of these accounts, the association between Vlad and Bran Castle has only deepened its mystique, fueling countless tales of vampiric hauntings. Among the castle's most chilling features are its narrow, winding staircases and labyrinthine corridors, which seem designed to disorient and confound. Visitors often report feeling a creeping sense of unease as they ascend these claustrophobic passageways, as though unseen eyes are watching from the shadows. The castle's lower levels, once used as storage rooms and dungeons, are particularly notorious for their oppressive atmosphere. Many claim to hear faint moans and cries emanating from these subterranean chambers, as though the spirits of long-forgotten prisoners are still trapped within their confines. Perhaps the most infamous area of Bran Castle is the so-called torture chamber, a small room tucked away in the bowels of the fortress. Though there is no definitive proof that the chamber was ever used for its namesake purpose, its stark, utilitarian design and ominous aura leave little doubt about its potential for cruelty. Tourists recount feeling an inexplicable wave of nausea or dizziness upon entering the space, as though the residual energy of suffering lingers in the air. Some have even reported seeing shadowy figures bound by invisible chains, writhing in silent agony before vanishing altogether. The castle's upper floors, by contrast, exude an eerie elegance that belies their haunted reputation. The Grand Hall, with its high ceilings and ornate furnishings, was once a gathering place for nobility and dignitaries. Yet, even here, the weight of history presses heavily on the senses. Several visitors have claimed to see apparitions of elegantly dressed women gliding through the room, their faces obscured by veils. Others describe hearing the faint strains of music, reminiscent of a bygone era, drifting through the halls despite the absence of any visible source. Bran Castle's association with vampires extends beyond mere folklore. It has become a focal point for modern-day paranormal enthusiasts. Numerous investigations have been conducted within its walls, utilizing tools such as thermal cameras. Leave me be. Another claimed to photograph a figure resembling Count Dracula himself standing atop one of the castle's towers, his cape billowing in the wind. While skeptics argue that such findings could be explained by natural phenomena or psychological suggestion, the consistency of the reports lends credence to the idea that something otherworldly resides within Bran Castle. Adding to its haunted allure is the castle's current function as a museum dedicated to Queen Marie of Romania, who lived there briefly in the early 20th century. Her personal belongings, including furniture, artwork, and letters, are displayed throughout the castle, imbuing it with a sense of intimacy and vulnerability. Visitors often remark on how lifelike the exhibits feel, as though the Queen herself might step into view at any moment. This blending of the historical and the supernatural creates an uncanny experience, where the past seems perpetually alive and breathing. For those who dare to explore its curse chambers, Bran Castle offers a tantalizing glimpse into a world where myth and reality collide. Whether you believe in vampires or not, the castle's haunting beauty and macabre history are undeniable. It is a place where the imagination runs wild, where the echoes of ancient battles and whispered legends converge to create an atmosphere unlike any other. As you wander its shadowy halls, you can't help but wonder, is it possible that Vlad's spirit, or something else entirely, still roams these ancient walls? The spectral secrets of Leap Castle hidden away in the lush countryside of County Offaly, Ireland, Leap Castle stands as a crumbling testament to centuries of violence, betrayal, and unspeakable horrors. Once a proud fortress belonging to the O'Carroll clan, this medieval stronghold has earned a reputation as one of the most haunted locations in Europe. Its decaying walls and eerie silence conceal a history steeped in bloodshed, making it a magnet for those drawn to the darker side of human nature and the supernatural. Leap Castle's most infamous feature is the Bloody Chapel, a name that sends shivers down the spines of even the bravest visitors. This small, stone-walled room was the site of one of the castle's most gruesome events, a fratricidal act that set the stage for its haunted legacy. In the 16th century, two rival brothers from the O'Carroll family clashed over inheritance rights during a heated dispute. During a clandestine meeting in the chapel, one brother, wielding a sword, brutally murdered the other mid-prayer. Witnesses claim that the victim's blood pooled on the chapel floor, staining the stones and forever cursing the space with his vengeful spirit. To this day, visitors report hearing faint chanting and the sound of clashing swords emanating from the Bloody Chapel, as though the brothers' fateful duel continues to play out in an eternal loop. But the horrors of Leap Castle do not end with the Bloody Chapel. Beneath the fortress lies a sinister secret that has fueled countless nightmares: the oubliette. This hidden pit, discovered in the 1920s during renovations, was used as a makeshift dungeon where prisoners were left to starve or die from injuries sustained during torture. When workers unearthed the oubliette, they found it filled with human remains, including skeletons stacked atop one another in grotesque heaps. Among the bones were traces of blades and other instruments of torment, suggesting that many of the victims had been subjected to unimaginable suffering before their deaths. The castle's supernatural reputation is further amplified by the presence of the Elemental, a malevolent entity said to haunt its corridors. Described as a shapeless, shadowy figure with glowing red eyes, the Elemental is believed to predate the castle itself, originating from an ancient curse placed on the land by a rival clan. Locals speak of the creature in hushed tones, warning that it feeds on fear and despair, manifesting only to those who dare to enter the castle alone. One particularly chilling account comes from a caretaker who claimed to have encountered the Elemental late at night. He described feeling an overwhelming sense of dread as a foul stench filled the air, followed by the appearance of a dark, swirling mass that seemed to pulse with hatred. The encounter left him physically ill, and he refused to return to the castle ever again. Leap Castle's troubled history extends beyond its walls, encompassing tales of witchcraft, curses, and familial betrayals. During the English Civil War, the castle changed hands multiple times, each transition marked by violence and destruction. It is said that a local witch, angered by the O'Carrolls' refusal to pay tribute, placed a curse on the family, ensuring that misfortune would plague them for generations. This curse is believed to have contributed to the castle's decline, culminating in its eventual abandonment in the 17th century. Despite attempts to restore the structure in the 20th century, many believe the curse remains active, driving away those who try to reclaim its former glory. Modern-day explorers of Leap Castle often recount experiences that defy logical explanation. Visitors have reported seeing ghostly figures in period clothing wandering the ruins, their faces twisted in anguish. Others describe hearing the sound of children laughing, despite the fact that no young ones reside nearby. Some claim to feel an inexplicable pressure on their chests, as though an invisible force is attempting to push them backward. Thermal imaging cameras have captured unexplained cold spots throughout the castle, while EVP recordings reveal faint whispers and guttural growls that send chills down the spines of even seasoned investigators. Despite, or perhaps because of, its terrifying reputation, Leap Castle continues to attract thrill-seekers and paranormal enthusiasts from around the world. Guided tours offer a glimpse into the castle's macabre past, but few dare to linger after nightfall, when the veil between worlds is said to grow thinnest. For those brave enough to explore its haunted halls, Leap Castle serves as a stark reminder of humanity's capacity for cruelty, and the lingering consequences of our darkest deeds. The ghostly whispers of Malbork Castle in the northern reaches of Poland, where the Vistula River winds its way through rolling plains, stands Malbork Castle, a colossal Gothic fortress that once served as the headquarters of the Teutonic Knights. Known as the largest brick castle in the world, its towering walls and intricate masonry embodying the power and ambition of its creators. Yet, for all its grandeur, Malbork Castle harbors a shadowy underbelly, a legacy of war, disease, and spiritual unrest that has cemented its status as one of Europe's most haunted landmarks. Constructed in the 13th century, Malbork Castle was originally known as Marienburg, named in honor of the Virgin Mary. It served as both a religious sanctuary and a military stronghold, playing a pivotal role in the Teutonic Order's efforts to convert pagan tribes and expand their influence across Eastern Europe. However, the castle's history is marred by bloodshed and turmoil. Over the centuries, it endured sieges, fires, and occupations, each event leaving an indelible mark on its soul. During World War II, the castle suffered extensive damage, forcing painstaking restoration efforts that continue to this day. Amidst the scars of battle and reconstruction lies a deeper, more insidious legacy, one of restless spirits and unexplained phenomena. One of the most persistent legends surrounding Malbork Castle involves the White Lady, a spectral figure said to roam its corridors in search of vengeance. According to local lore, she was once a nun who lived within the castle's cloistered walls. Betrayed by a lover who abandoned her, she took her own life in despair, only to be denied entry into heaven due to her sin. Now, her ghost is said to haunt the castle, appearing as a pale, translucent figure in flowing white robes. Visitors have reported encountering her in the chapel, where she kneels in prayer, her head bowed low. Those who approach her often describe a sudden drop in temperature and a profound sense of sadness, as though her sorrow permeates the very air. Equally chilling are the tales of the Black Monk, a shadowy figure believed to be the spirit of a Teutonic knight who perished during one of the castle's many sieges. Unlike the White Lady, the Black Monk is said to embody rage rather than grief, his presence marked by violent disturbances. Witnesses describe hearing the clash of steel and the roar of battle echoing through the castle's halls, as though the spectre relives his final moments over and over again. In one particularly unsettling incident, a tour guide claimed to have been struck by an invisible force while leading a group through the knight's quarters. The blow knocked him to the ground, leaving him shaken and convinced that he had crossed paths with the vengeful monk. The haunting legacy of Bardi Castle, perched atop a limestone cliff overlooking the serene landscapes of Emilia-Romagna, Italy, Bardi Castle is a fortress steeped in both beauty and tragedy. Its weathered stone walls and commanding position evoke a sense of timeless majesty, yet beneath its picturesque exterior lies a dark history that has earned it a place among Europe's most haunted sites. Known locally as Il Castello di Bardi. This medieval stronghold has witnessed centuries of conflict, betrayal, and sorrow, events that have left an indelible mark on its spirit and its stones. Built in the 9th century, Bardi Castle served as a defensive bastion against invading armies, its strategic location making it a coveted prize for rulers and conquerors alike. Over the centuries, it changed hands multiple times, each transition marked by bloodshed and intrigue. However, the castle's most enduring legend revolves around the tragic fate of Morello, a knight whose story has become synonymous with its haunting reputation. According to folklore, Morello was falsely accused of treason by his lord and sentenced to death. Before his execution, he swore an oath of vengeance, declaring that his spirit would haunt the castle forever. True to his word, visitors claimed to see his ghostly figure patrolling the ramparts, clad in armor and wielding a sword, as though still defending the fortress from unseen enemies. Beyond Morello's spectral presence, Bardi Castle is renowned for its crying room, a chamber steeped in sorrow and despair. Local legend tells of a young bride who was imprisoned in this room by her jealous husband after discovering her infidelity. Left to die of starvation, her anguished cries are said to echo through the castle to this day. Those who dare to enter the crying room often report hearing faint sobs and the sound of scratching, as though the desperate woman is still clawing at the walls in a futile attempt to escape. Some visitors have even claimed to feel warm tears streaming down their cheeks, despite showing no signs of crying themselves, an eerie phenomenon that leaves them shaken and questioning reality. For those brave enough to explore its haunted halls, Bardi Castle serves as a poignant reminder of the fragility of human life and the enduring power of memory. Its crumbling facade and echoing chambers stand as a testament to the triumphs and tragedies of those who came before, their stories etched into every stone and shadow. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, there is no denying the eerie atmosphere that permeates this ancient fortress, a place where the past feels disturbingly close, and the whispers of history refuse to be silenced. The enchanted echoes of Glamis Castle nestled amidst the rolling hills of Angus, Scotland, Glamis Castle stands as a quintessential vision of medieval splendor, its turrets and battlements rising gracefully against the Scottish sky. Known as the childhood home of Queen Elizabeth the Queen Mother, and the setting for Shakespeare's Macbeth, this historic estate exudes an air of refined elegance and aristocratic charm. Yet beneath its polished veneer lies a tapestry of dark legends and supernatural mysteries that have earned it a reputation as one of Scotland's most haunted locations. For those who dare to tread its hallowed halls, Glamis Castle reveals itself not only as a monument to history but also as a realm where the boundaries between the living and the dead blur with unsettling ease. One of the most enduring legends associated with Glamis Castle is that of the Monster of Glamis, a tale that has fascinated and terrified locals for generations. According to folklore, the monster was a deformed member of the lion family, who ruled the castle for centuries. Said to have been born with grotesque abnormalities, the unfortunate child was hidden away in a secret chamber within the castle's walls to protect the family's reputation. Servants whispered of a wailing infant whose cries could be heard echoing through the corridors at night, while others claimed to have glimpsed a shadowy figure lurking in the castle's hidden passages. Though the existence of the monster of Glamis has never been proven, the legend persists, fueling speculation about the castle's many locked doors and concealed rooms. Visitors often report feeling an inexplicable sense of unease when exploring certain areas of the castle. The castle's Great Hall, a grand space adorned with intricate wood carvings and heraldic banners, is another hotspot for paranormal activity. Guests attending events in the hall have reported strange occurrences, such as chairs shifting positions on their own and candles flickering without explanation. In one particularly eerie incident, a wedding party claimed to have seen a ghostly figure seated at the head of the banquet table, its translucent form dissolving into thin air moments later. Similar sightings have been reported in the castle's chapel, where visitors describe hearing ethereal hymns sung by unseen voices and seeing shadowy figures kneeling in prayer. These manifestations are often attributed to the spirits of former residents and clergy, whose devotion to the castle remains unbroken even in death. Glamis Castle's sprawling gardens and surrounding grounds also hold their share of supernatural intrigue. The estate's ancient yew trees, some of which are over 300 years old, are said to harbor the spirits of those who died tragically on the property. Visitors strolling through the gardens have reported feeling an inexplicable chill, as though an unseen presence is watching them from the shadows. Others claim to have seen ghostly apparitions flitting between the trees, their forms dissolving into the mist before they can be identified. One particularly haunting legend speaks of a white stag, a spectral deer believed to be an omen of impending doom. Sightings of the stag are rare, but those who claim to have seen it describe a luminous creature with glowing eyes, its antlers crowned with frost-like tendrils that shimmer in the moonlight. Paranormal investigators have long been drawn to Houska Castle, eager to unravel the mysteries that shroud its storied halls. Armed with state-of-the-art equipment, these teams have documented a range of unexplained phenomena, from electromagnetic spikes to EVP recordings of disembodied voices. One investigator claimed to have captured footage of a shadowy figure standing near the castle's ancient well, a spot rumored to be cursed after a servant girl drowned herself there centuries ago. Another team reported hearing faint laughter emanating from the castle's library, despite the room being empty at the time. While skeptics argue that such findings could be attributed to environmental factors or psychological suggestion, the consistency of the reports lends credence to the possibility of something truly otherworldly at play. For those who visit Houska Castle, the experience is as much about immersing oneself in its rich history as it is about confronting its supernatural allure. Guided tours offer a glimpse into the lives of the Lion family and the castle's role in shaping Scottish heritage, but it is the whispers of the past that linger longest in the minds of visitors. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, there is no denying the palpable sense of foreboding that permeates this ancient fortress, a place where the echoes of tragedy and triumph intertwine, creating an atmosphere unlike any other. As you wander its shadowy halls and moonlit gardens, you can't help but wonder, are the spirits of Houska Castle truly at rest, or do they remain tethered to the land they once called home? Threads of the supernatural, patterns across Europe's haunted fortresses. As we draw this haunting journey to a close, it becomes clear that the most haunted castles of Europe are not isolated anomalies, but interconnected nodes in a vast web of supernatural lore. Each fortress, whether perched atop a craggy Scottish cliff or nestled in the misty valleys of Transylvania, shares threads of history, tragedy, and the unexplainable that bind them together in an eerie tapestry. These castles are more than mere relics of medieval grandeur. They are vessels of collective memory, where the past refuses to be confined to textbooks and archives. Instead, it spills into the present, manifesting as ghostly apparitions, disembodied whispers, and inexplicable phenomena that challenge our understanding of reality. A recurring theme across these haunted strongholds is the concept of unresolved trauma. Time and again, we encounter stories of betrayal, murder, and imprisonment, each leaving behind an emotional residue that seems to saturate the very stones of these ancient structures. From the bloody feud that cursed the halls of Leap Castle to the spectral anguish of the Crying Room in Bardi Castle, the spirits that haunt these fortresses appear to be tethered to their earthly prisons by unfinished business. It is as though the weight of their suffering prevents them from crossing the threshold into the afterlife, compelling them to linger indefinitely. This shared motif underscores a universal truth. The echoes of human pain transcend time, resonating through generations and manifesting in ways that defy rational explanation. Another striking pattern is the prevalence of specific types of supernatural entities across different castles. Figures like the White Lady and the Black Monk recur with uncanny frequency, their archetypal forms reflecting broader cultural narratives about guilt, vengeance, and redemption. These spectral archetypes serve as mirrors to societal fears and values, embodying the moral complexities of the eras in which they originated. For instance, the ghostly nun of Malbork Castle embodies themes of penance and divine judgment, while the vengeful knight of Leap Castle symbolizes the destructive cycle of retribution. Such parallels suggest that the supernatural is not merely a product of individual imagination but a collective projection shaped by shared histories and cultural frameworks. The environmental conditions of these castles further reinforce their haunted reputations. Many of Europe's most haunted fortresses are situated in remote, desolate locations, their isolation amplifying the sense of foreboding that permeates their walls. The rugged cliffs of Edinburgh Castle, the dense forests surrounding Bran Castle, and the windswept plains of Malbork all contribute to an atmosphere of solitude and vulnerability.